Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So first thing that I want to bring up is that it was brought to me that maybe I should go ahead and get a logo pack that has the AHL logos and everything. So you will be happy to know that I obliged. So if we go and look at the Binghamton Senators here, so we can see the logo. So I went and got the pack. I don't mind doing those type of things if that's going to enhance the experience for you guys watching and listening to me, so I really do not mind. So I did it, as long as it's not overly complicated. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm an IT guy, so I'm pretty comfortable with a computer and everything. But if I have to fiddle with something for 3 hours to get it work for something as small as logos, I might not do it. But in this case, it was pretty easy, so I'm much happy to oblige for stuff like that. Now, the only downfall to that is that the person that did the logo pack didn't have all of the historical logos in it. So we lost, for example, the Trashers logo because it was not part of the pack. So obviously I could go and find the logo and put it back in and everything. And it's also messing with some of the historical logos and everything. Like the Tampa Bay Lightning logo here is not right for 2009. So little things like that. It's not the end of the world. I'm fine with it if it really bothers you, or if you have a request regarding that. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see how I can try to satisfy requests where possible. But anyway, so that's pretty much where we're at here. Also, I had left the last video with a question regarding our goaltending situation, and it was kind of my idea that maybe I should look into getting rid of Ryan Miller, and somebody else agreed with me. So I did not make the trade yet. I put Ryan Miller on the trading block for now. Let's see if I get an offer. I probably won't. The computer tends to have issues making offers for high-rated players. Or at least it doesn't happen as often as smaller trades. So I'm going to leave him on the trade block for a month or two, see what happens, and then I'm probably gonna, if nothing falls on my lap on its own, I'm probably gonna pull the trigger myself. I did check the trading block before shooting the video in case something good was in there that maybe I could see trading Ryan Miller for, but the top 5 or top 4 best players available on the trading block are all mine. So yeah. Alright, so with all that said, also, and I'm sorry, that's a lot of stuff before I get into the meat of it. The software that I use to do recording had an update, I think it's last week, and it messed some of my settings up. Thankfully, the hockey series did not get affected by it because there's no background music. I mean, I listen to music while I'm recording, but I don't have it pushed through the recording, so you guys can't hear it. So it didn't affect the hockey per se, but if it did, or if you notice something, and I know that in the past there's been some issues with, I remember with one recording in particular where there was a lot of echo in my voice for whatever reason, so please let me know when you hear stuff like that. I did recordings for other series where the game sound was not coming through, and it took me a few days to realize, so yeah, that kind of sucks for me, but that's just, I'm just asking if you and I'm sure you would, but if you hear anything weird on one of my videos that I don't catch, please let me know. It might be too late for that one video in particular, especially if it's been uploaded and everything. It's probably too late for me to change it at that point, but I might be able to fix it for future videos. The last thing I want is for, to put up a bunch of crappy videos that are not fun to listen or watch or anything like that. But anyway, so that was 5 minutes of a lot of ranting and blathering, so let's get going with November of 2009, where our first game is going to be in 4 days, where we are going to host the Tampa Bay Lightning. Alright. Alright, so Alexander Semin in Washington is suspended, so way to start the month for Mr. Semin. He's going to miss a whole whopping game. Eugene Melnick is very happy with my work. We went 10-1-1, so that's a pretty good month of October, dare I say. Alright, and yeah, we're not even first anymore, Washington is. Alright, coach reports on new players. Yeah, I don't care. And Patrick Eves is back. So yeah, Drazanovich has been struggling. He didn't play that many games, but he's been struggling. No points, a -4, so I'm going to go ahead and send him down. I'm sorry, I tried to give you some games and everything. And we're going to go ahead and get Patrick Eves back. Alrighty. Alright, Mark Fistrick is back from suspension in Pittsburgh, so back in the lineup over there. And there was no stopping Daniel Sedin, who had 3 goals and an assist against the Rangers. Alright, oh, Washington's losing another player to suspension. Marty Yarventi is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game, and Semin is back. Alright, so we are about to play against Tampa Bay. We already played them twice this season. We won both games. Tampa Bay right now is 6-7. If it wasn't for us, they would have a winning record. That's good for 12th in the East for them. So let's see if we can beat them again. Oh, I don't like that. We got passed in the standings by Montreal. They did play 3 more games than us, but I don't like to see Montreal ahead of us, so we need to beat Tampa Bay here. Alex Old is going to be in net for Tampa Bay, and we are going to go to Brian Elliott. And we won 4-0, so great way to start the month with a shutout. We did outshoot Tampa Bay 40-13. Joe Thornton was the first star of that game. He had a goal and an assist. Brooks Laich was the second star with a goal, and Patrick Eves the third star with an assist. We did have 16,860 people in attendance for this rivalry matchup against Tampa Bay. And Ryan Callahan opened up the scoring in the first from Mike Fisher and Anton Volchenkov. It was 1-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, we had Joe Thornton score from Patrick Eves, and then Pavel Datsyuk scored his 10th on the power play from Jason Spezza and Mark Streit, and it was 3-0 after 2. And in the third period, Brooks Laich scored from Joe Thornton. 4-0 is the final score in that one. Nice game. Martin Straka has arrived at 1,250 games played. Still in Nashville, Martin Straka, he's been there for a while. Celebrated with an assist against the Anaheim Ducks. 37 years old Martin Straka, still a 2.5-star player, so still pretty decent. He has 8 points in 14 games so far this season. That's not elite, but that's also not bad. Alright, and we are about to face the New Jersey Devils at home again. Yeah, we're on a little home stand there. Then we're going to have 1 away game and then a really long home stand of 5 or 6 games. Marty Yaraventi is back from suspension in Washington. Alright, so the Devils are in town, so it's a little bit difficult for New Jersey this season. They are 5-9. That's good for 14th in the East. We have not played the Devils so far this year, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at their lineup here. Oof, yeah, it might be why. Alright, so Matt Taormina is not going to be playing this game. He is hurt, and then they have two players that are unfit right now. Tyler Eckford and is it Brandon Nolan, I think? Yeah, Brandon Nolan, both unfit. So Martin Brodeurs in net, 37 years old, still a 4-star player, so still pretty good. Ray Emery, oh, so I did let Ray go so that he would be able to find a home and play some games, so now he is going to do so with New Jersey, apparently. Curtis Foster, Sal Mella, Freddie Meyer, Tyler Eckford, Matt Taormina, Eric Brewer, Brian Rafalski on D. That D is not too great. Rafalski's getting older. Brian Gianta, De Salvatore, Nick Palmieri, Antoine Vermette is still there, Spilo Kolnick, Madden, Kalinski, Scott Gomez, Brandon Nolan, Matt Ellis-Chuck, Zach Parisi, Brian Rolson, and Nicholas Bergfors. So the offense is okay. There's definitely a few decent players up front, good goaltending. The D's a little suspect. All in all, I'm not sure that New Jersey has the firepower to turn it around. I guess Brother can steal enough games, maybe. But he's getting older too, he's 37. Oh, Ray Emery is going to face us. And we're going to go with Brian Elliott. So we're going to face a goaltender that we've groomed but never really played much. And we won 3-2, so we beat Razor. We outshot New Jersey 43-16 in that game. Ryan Callahan was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Freddie Meyer was the second star with an assist, and Chris Kelly was the third star with 2 assists. 18,483 people in attendance for that game. So nobody scored in the first period, and then we scored 3 straight goals in the second. Jason Spezza scored on the power play from Pavel Datsyuk and Mark Streit. Then Alex Pietrangelo scored from Chris Kelly and Ryan Callahan, and then Callahan from Mark Streit and Chris Kelly. And then New Jersey scored, so it was 3-1 Sens after 2. Then New Jersey scored again in the third period. It was late in the third, made it 3-2, but they ran out of gas, couldn't get the tying goal, so 3-2 is the win for us. Phil Kessel has a memorable game with the Bruins. He had a hat-trick against Buffalo. Mike Komisarek with the Flyers is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. Alright, and in a couple days we are going to be hosting the Edmonton Oilers. Patrick Kane lights the lamp with 3 goals and an assist against the Kings. Pretty good game for Patrick Kane. And in the same game, Duncan Keith had 4 assists. Pretty good game for him as well. Alright, the Oilers are in town. They come to Ottawa with a 8-8-1 record, so playing for 500 there in Edmonton. We have not played them so far this season. Let's take a look at their lineup. No injuries in Edmonton, so this is pretty much the best lineup that they can put together. So Devan Dubnyk is in net for Edmonton, and he's made a comeback. Wade Doublewicks is the backup. Sean O'Donnell, Daniel Markov, Francisek Caberly, Denis Grabeshkov, Matt Green, Jeff Petrie, and Jonathan Girard on D. That D is not all that great. Also a little old. Everett Lisson, Peter Pruka, Brandon Prost, Ryan Smith, Sean Orkoff, Kyle Brodziak, Boyd Devereaux, Jarrett Stahl, Rob Shrimp, Andrew Cogliano, Brendan Bochenski of Ottawa, or prior Ottawa affiliation, Jason Chimera, Jordan Eberle, and Miroslav Shatan. Alright, so I'm not too sure how I feel about that lineup in Edmonton. There's definitely some good pieces. Dubnyk is a 4-star goaltender right now, so he should be pretty good. The D's a little iffy, kind of like New Jersey after all. And then the forwards are okay. I think we should be able to win this though. Right, so Devon Dubnyk in net for Edmonton. We are going with Brian Elliott. And we won 6-1. Pretty good game again. We outshot the Oilers 33-21. Jason Spezza was the first star. He had a goal and 2 assists. Zdeno Chara was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Alexander Radulov was the third star with 2 assists. 17,233 people in attendance for this game. Jason Spezza opened up the scoring in the first period from Alexander Radulov and Eric Condra. 1-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, we had Zdeno Chara score from Drew Doughty and Jason Spezza, then Mike Fisher from Ryan Callahan, and it was 3-0 Sens after 2. And then finally in the third period, Joe Thornton scored from Zdeno Chara, then Edmonton scored and made it 4-1 Ottawa, but we scored 2 more goals. Joe Thornton on the power play from Jason Spezza and Alexander Radulov, and Marian Osa on the power play as well from Sam Gagner and Chris Kelly, and 6-1 is the final score. Pretty dominant game. And we have Pavel Datsyuk that's ailing with a bruised hip. Might miss about 7 days. Okay, do I have to put you on injured reserve? No. Okay. Alright, and now we are going to go and play in Philadelphia in 2 days against the Flyers. Yes, I know that Pavel Datsyuk is hurt. That's why I have a head coach, so he can take care of that. Brian Pothier is available on waivers. Alright, big game for Martin Erat. He had 4 assists against San Jose. Yeah. Pretty good game. Brandon Dubinsky is suspended with Minnesota. He's going to miss a game. Alright, about to play against Philly. So the Flyers are 7-7 this season. That's good for 10th in the East. We have not played the Flyers. Let's see if the eternal dilemma that the Flyers have in net still perpetuates into this season. And let's take a look at their lineup. Alright, so sure is. So in net, it's Jeremy Duchesne still and Brent Johnson. Yaroslav Modry, Pardy, Timonen, Wojciechowski, Regier, Komisarek on D. That's not all that great, and Komisarek is still suspended. And up front, again, they are loaded, so it's been kind of very similar to real life. I mean, we've had discussions in the comments about that, and I mean, that has often been the truth for the Flyers. Although I do think that currently in 2020, the Flyers' defense is probably better than it's been in a long time, or at least like they're starting to shape something there. Regarding the D, although you wouldn't believe it, looking at the last playoff game that they played, I cannot believe that they dropped that game against Montreal 5-0. I almost cried. Alright, up front, it's Steve Downey, James Van Riemsdyk, Mike Richards, Mason Raymond, Simon Gagner, Martin St. Louis, Rod Brennamore, Jeff Carter, Ubisek, Fraser Giroux, Darryl Powell, TJ Oshie, Matt Cook, and Paul Gostad. So the forwards are very well rounded, a lot of firepower, and a lot of good supporting cast too. So the forwards are pretty scary, actually. Pretty good forward core. Right, so we're going to Brian Elliott. They are going to go to Brent Johnson in that one. And we lost 4-0, so the Flyers shut us out. After that I said bad things about their defense and goaltending. Look at what they just did. Alright, so we outshot the Flyers 32-26. Brent Johnson is the first star of the game with the shutout, the W, and 32 saves to boot. Yaroslav Modry is the second star with a goal, and Adam Pardy is the third star with an assist. So the Flyers scored twice in the first period, and there was a fight between Daryl Powell and Zdeno Chara. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember Daryl Powell. I don't really remember him as a guy that would fight much or be like overly tough, especially not to the point of taking Zdeno Chara. So it might have been a little bit of misplaced bravery there. And that's pretty much it. So the Flyers beat us fair and square, 4-0. Not much to say other than we lost. A memorable night for Jerome McGinlison in Dallas. 4 assists for Jerome against the Sharks. Scott Hartnell extends his goal streak to 5 games. He scored a goal against St. Louis. And Brendan Dubinsky is back in the lineup for the Wild after serving his suspension. Alright, so the Rangers are now in town. They are 9-8-2. That's good for the last spot for the playoffs in the East at the moment. They are 8, and we are 1-0 against the Rangers this season. We beat them at Madison Square Garden back in October. Al Montoya is going to be in net for the Rangers. We are going yet again to Brian Elliott. And we won 1-0, so it was a tight game. Although we outshot the Rangers 54-15. Al Montoya, despite the loss, is the first star. He did make 53 saves. Curtis Glencross is the second star without any points, and Jason Spezza is the third star with an assist. 19,032 people in attendance for this game, and the only goal of the game happened in the first period, and it was Chris Kelly on the power play from Jason Spezza. That was it. Other than that, we took 2 penalties. The Rangers took 1. It was kind of a very boring game, probably. Well, I don't know. See Al Montoya play on his head all night might have been fun, maybe. I am not sure. Scott Hartnell extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against Montreal. Joe Pavelski extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against the Blues. Right, and we are about to host the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, I don't believe that that's the logo for 2009, which is a byproduct of getting the logo pack. So just an FYI. Right, so we're in the middle of a homestand there. We have 4 more home games in a row here. So no one could stop Chris Terry in Carolina. He had a hat-trick against the Wild. Joe Pavelski's point streak ended at 12 games. It was held scoreless against the Chicago Blackhawks. Alright, Oleg Tverdovsky has racked up 600 points in his career. So Tverdovsky is in Columbus right now. Got 2 assists against Edmonton to reach 600 points. 33 years old, Oleg Tverdovsky, 2.5 star player. So pretty decent career. 600 points for a defenseman is nothing to sneeze at, and he's 33, so he still has a few years to put a few more up. He had 63 points last season. That's pretty good. Alright, so Toronto is in town. They are 10-6-2. That's good for 7th in the East. We did lose against Toronto 6-2 earlier this season. That was on the road, so let's see if we can beat them at home in front of our fans. Well, it's going to be a lot of Leafs fans too. The monster, Jonas Gustafsson, is in net for the Maple Leafs, and Brian Elliott is in net for Ottawa. And it's another 1-0 victory. So 2 1-0 shutouts in a row. We outshot the Maple Leafs 48-22. Drew Doughty was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Adrian Aucoin was the second star without any points. And Martin Havlat was the third star by scoring the only goal of the game. 16,516 people in attendance for this game. And we had to wait all the way to the midway point of the third period before we saw the lone goal of the game, and it was Martin Havlat from Ryan Callahan and Drew Doughty, and that was it. Brad Stewart is suspended in San Jose. He's going to miss 4 games. Scott Hartnell extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal against San Jose. In that same game, I guess. So Scott Hartnell is on a nice little goal streak. I don't know if he has that giant hair back in 2009. I don't remember. I do remember that at one point he had like that giant curly thing going on his head. But I don't remember if in 2009 if he had it or not. David Tanabe is available. I'm not going to pick him up. We are about to host the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, Julien Vauclair is available on waivers. Of course, I've mentioned it before in a previous video. Julien Vauclair was a Ottawa Senator draft pick in real life. Alright, so Pittsburgh in town, they are 13-6-2. That's good for 2nd in the East. They are 3 points behind us. We beat them in the only matchup this season against them. We beat them 4-3. Let's see what happens here. Josh Harding is going to be in net for Pittsburgh. We are going to Brian Elliott. Let's see if we can contain Sidney Crosby and Jaromir Jagr and Yevgeny Malkin. And yeah. And we lost 3-0. Wow. Lately, all of our games have ended in shutouts one way or the other. So we were outshot 39-20 in that game. So it's a game to forget all across for the Sens. Alex Goligoski was the first star. He had an assist. Tyler Kennedy was the second star with a goal. And Jochen Hecht was the third star with a goal as well. 17,308 people in attendance for this game. Well, we contained Sidney Crosby, he didn't get a point, but Jagr did get an assist. Not much to say. Martin Straka has reached 400 goals in his career, and he had a goal and 3 assists. Well, pretty good game. Goal and 3 assists against New Jersey. And Scott Hartnell in that same game extended his goal streak to 8 games. He had a goal and an assist. Pavel Datsyuk ahead of schedule? Yes, please. I'll take more Datsyuk in the lineup. David Krejci is suspended in Boston. He's going to miss 4 games. Alright, so Buffalo in town, they are 7-9-3. That's good for 10th in the East. We have not played Buffalo so far this season. Alright, so no injuries in Buffalo. In net, it's Tim Thomas and Rob Zepp still, so they've had those two for a couple seasons now. Philippe Boucher, Johnny Oduya, Tyler Myers, Andre Sekera, Brian Campbell, Michael Roosevelt on D. The D is okay. It's not Superstar D, but it's decent. Clark MacArthur, Jared Smithson, Drew Stafford, Tyler Ennis, Patrick Marleau, Scotty Upshaw, Derek Roy, Mike Comrie, Tommy Santella, Travis Moen, Daniel Payet, Mike Knuble, Jason Pominville, and Thomas Vanek. I'm undecided how I feel about this team. They have some interesting forwards, some interesting D. They just feel average. They don't feel good, they don't feel bad, they just feel kind of average. Tim Thomas in net for Buffalo and Brian Elliott in net for us. And we won 4-1. There you go. Finally a game that didn't end in a shutout, sorry. We outshot Buffalo severely, 64-19. Joe Thornton was the first out of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Brooks Lake was the second star with an assist, and Marian Osa was the third star with 2 assists. 18,903 people in attendance for this game. Former briefly Ottawa Senator Patrick Marleau opened up the scoring in the first period, but then we scored 3 goals. Sam Gagné scored from Marian Osa and Pavel Datsyuk, then Pavel Datsyuk from Jason Spezza and Marian Osa, and then Joe Thornton from Brooks Lake. It was 3-1 after 1. Nobody scored in the second, and then in the third period Patrick Eves scored from Scott Niedermayer and Joe Thornton. 4-1 is the final score. Decent game. Alright, Mike Komisarek is back from suspension in Philadelphia. And Pavel Datsyuk is back from injury in Ottawa. Or fully recovered, he played last game. Alright, so we are about to host the Washington Capitals, and there's already only 4 games left in the month. Feels like it's been flying for some reason. Of course, when we lose by shutout, I don't have a whole lot to say, so... Alright, so Washington in town, they are pretty good. They are 14-7-2, that's good for 5th in the East. Let's take a look at their lineup. We have not played them so far. Ooh, they have a lot of injuries. So Marty Yarventi is injured. Mike Green, Alex Burrows, and Chris Bork all gonna miss time due to injuries and not gonna play this game. And so in net, it's Tuukka Rask and Semyon Varlamov. So that's a pretty good tandem there. They might want to trade one of the two. They're both really young too. Carl Alsner, Nathan Page, John Carlson, Sean Hill, Jeff Schultz, and Ryan Whitney on D. Could be better. Agman, Brunette, Ellis, Pittenger, Ovechkin, Backstrom, Gordon, Paul, Sotheby, Bernier, Dwyer, Fair, Gordon, Simon, and Alpern. Considering all of the injuries that they have, that's actually a pretty good forward core, I think. So pretty interesting. There's a reason they're pretty good. Their D might be a little weak, but that's a pretty strong team. Semyon Varlamov is going to be in net for Washington. We are going to Brian Elliott yet again. And we won 1-0. Isn't that our third 1-0 win this month alone? It's pretty crazy. We outshot Washington 30-20. Ryan Callahan was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Nick Backstrom was the second star, no point. And Chris Kelly was the third star with an assist. 16,471 people came to see the Great 8 in Ottawa. The only goal of the game was scored in the second period, and it was Ryan Callahan scoring his 5th from Chris Kelly and Drew Doughty. And that's it. Another game that's really fast to go through because there was only 1 goal scored. Claude Julien might lose his job in Nashville. Nashville is 11-10-1, so I guess they don't have a lot of patience over there. Of course, in real life, Claude Julien had that cardiac incident thing, so he couldn't coach the past game against Philadelphia. He's also not going to coach again in that series. As much as I hate the Habs, and that I have made that extremely vocal since the start of, well, my life, but the start of this video, obviously I don't wish any ill will to Claude Julien or anything like that, so I do hope that he's going to recover nicely and everything. So I know you're never going to listen to that, Claude, but hang in there, you've got this, and well, hopefully you don't lose your job in my game. Alright, so that's that. Good game for Johan Franzen in Detroit. He had a hat-trick against the Nashville Predators. Nikolai Zerdev extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against the New York Rangers. Nice little streak for him as well. Right, and we are about to play in New Jersey against the Devils, and Patrick Eaves is hurt again, day to day. Minor injury in practice. Strained hip muscle. One to 2 weeks left. Alright, you go back on the injured reserve. We're gonna get somebody else to come and play. Oops. Wrong menu. And we get to see my fresh, new Binghamton Senators logo. Alright. Jason Bowman, what do you say? Sorry, I'm a little quiet. I'm just analyzing. Yeah, let's get Justin Abdelkader a shot. Alright, so we are going to be playing in New Jersey. It's not going any better for New Jersey since last time we've played against them. They are now 5-14-2. That's good for dead last in the East. We haven't seen that, I don't think, since I started to play. Seeing New Jersey dead last. Of course, I'm running off memory. Keep in mind, this series has been going on for almost a year, but I do not believe that New Jersey has been at the bottom like that. But anyway, we beat them once so far this season. Let's see if we can beat them in New Jersey. Brian Elliott is going to be in net for us. Martin Brodeur is going to be in net for the Devils. Go, Sens, go. I don't know if Abdelkader is going to play. I didn't check. And we won 1-0. Wow. We're winning, but we're not putting a lot of points on the board. Alright, so we outshot New Jersey 47-17 in that one. Martin Brodeur, despite the loss, is the first star with 46 saves. Brian Giunta is the second star without any point, and Andre Meszaros is the third star with an assist. Only goal of the game happened in the first period. It was Brooks Lake from Andre Meszaros and Joe Thornton, and it was all she wrote. Yeah, our players are not going to be in the top whatever in scoring at a goal per game pace. I mean, it's nice we're winning and everything, but I'd like to get some points. I like points. Benoit Pouliot extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against Boston. Mickey Dupont is suspended in Long Island. He's going to miss 5 games. And we need to give Justin Abdelkader a number. Yeah, you can wear number 88. You're still a young player and everything. And you're not going to take Drew Dottie's number 8. Alrighty, so Columbus is going to be in town now. We still haven't gotten an offer for Ryan Miller. Computers are a little shy to come for the great goaltender, I guess. Alright, so Columbus is in town. They are really good. They are 18-4-1. That's basically the same record as us, except they played one more game and lost it. So that's how good Columbus is. So they are going to be without their captain, Stefan Robida. He's hurt, so on the injured reserve. Oops. Alright, and in net, it's Manny Legacy and Steve Mason, so not the greatest goaltending there, so I'm not sure. Ken Tuskins, Brett Edikan, Mark Method, Brian Allen, Oleg Tverdovsky, Rob Scuderi, Steve Montador, and Mike Weaver on D. It's a decent D, but not already great. Then Rick Nash, Brad Larson, Lindstrom, Zerdev, Brassard, Savard, Stashny, Sillinger, Sutter, Voracek, Atkinson, Moziekin, and Asham. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're playing that great. I mean, the forwards are pretty good. The D's alright. Goaltending looks a little weak. I'm not sure. Maybe they just have great systems or something. Who's their coach? Doug Wilson is their coach. Huh. Alright, well, Doug Wilson. Ha! Steve Mason is in net for Columbus, and Brian Elliott is going to be in net for the Sens. And we won 2-0. Wow, so many shutouts this month. That's crazy. We outshot Columbus 43-14. Steve Mason was the first star despite the loss. He made 41 saves. Paul Stashny, second star, no points. And Jason Spezza was the third star with 2 assists. We had 15,078 people in attendance for this game. And we had Joe Thornton open up the scoring in the first period. That was his 10th of the season, and on the power play from Jason Spezza. It was 1-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, we had Alexander Radulov score on the power play as well from Jason Spezza and Joe Thornton. 2-0 Sens after 2. There was a fight in the second period between Zdeno Chara and Steve Montador. And that was it. And Ken Tuskins did some things during that game that earned him a suspension, and he's going to miss 2 games. Alright, and there's 1 game left in November. In a couple days, we're going to be playing in Boston, and it's going to be the start of a long Western American road trip where, well, obviously not in Boston. Boston is on the east. I mean, I wasn't that great in geography. I'm not that bad, though. But after the Boston game, it's going to be in the western part of the U.S. So, all right. Henrik Zetterberg is suspended. He's going to miss a game. Brad Stewart is back from suspension in San Jose, back in the lineup. Tanner Glass in Florida is suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. Jeff Platt in St. Louis also suspended. He's going to miss 5 games. Michael Anzus in that same game played in his 1000th game in his career, didn't get a point, and that was against Nashville. 32 years old Michael Anzus, still a 2.5-star player. And then Michael Roosevelt in Buffalo also suspended. He's going to miss 5 games. That's what, like 4 players that got suspended in last night. Yeah. A little bit too many suspensions, I think, in this game. Right, and now we are playing in Boston. Now Boston is 11-11-3 this season. That's good for 8 in the East, and we are 1-0 against Boston this year. Brian Elliott is going to be in net for us. He's going to face Yevgeny Nabokov. And we won 3-2. We outshot Boston 29-24. Eric Condra was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Phil Kessel was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Mike Fisher was the third star with a goal. So Eric Condra opened up the scoring in the first from Sam Gagné and Alex Pietrangelo. Then Chris Kelly scored on the power play from Jason Spezza. It was 2-0 Sens after 1. Then in the second period, Boston scored. And then Mike Fisher scored from Mark Streit and Brooks Lake, made it 3-1, and then Boston scored again before the end of the period, made it 3-2. But nobody would score in the third period, so 3-2 would stick, and that's how we won this game. And David Krejci is back from suspension after that game against us. Alright, so next game is on December 1st, so I'm going to sim all the way to December 1st, see what's going on in the league until then. Alexei Yashin, oh, look at that familiar face. Alexei Yashin has tallied 500 goals in his career. He had 2 goals and an assist against Colorado. So Yashin is now in Minnesota. He is 36 years old. He is only a 1-star player anymore. But that doesn't keep him from putting up points, so. Kimmo Timonen has played in 1,000 games in his career, so playing for the Kings. That happened against the Blackhawks. No points to celebrate. 34 years old. Kimmo Timonen, 2.5-star player. Jaromir Jagr extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Rangers. Suspension over for Henrik Zetterberg, back in the lineup. Brent Sopel has competed in 1,000 games in his career. That happened against Edmonton. No points for Brent Sopel. 32 years old, and he is a star and a half. Alright. Zdeněk Kutlak is available, not picking him up. Alright, and one more click. Ooh, that's a lot of news. Alright, no further punishment for Lemieux, so Francis Lemieux with Carolina not suspended. Ryan Whitney has a good game with the Washington Capitals. He had 4 assists in that same game against Carolina. Ken Tuskins is back in the lineup in Columbus. Yuri Hudler has a memorable game with the Red Wings. He had a hat-trick against Dallas. In that same game, Nick Lidstrom had a goal and 5 assists. Jaromir Jagr extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Rangers again, so must have been a home and home against them. So I was looking at the development report, and I was kind of just skimming through it real quick, and I misread that line here for Eric Carson, and I thought it said free agent ability +1. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Alright. And then the players of the month were Sidney Crosby and Brian Elliott. So our goaltender and Sidney Crosby, of course. We didn't score many goals this month, so I'm not surprised we didn't get the offensive player as well. So we're going to take a look at the standings here before we part ways. So yeah, like I mentioned, New Jersey dead last in the East. That's new. Florida is atop their division. That's also kind of new. And in the West, we have Columbus. That's first. We saw how good their record was. Anaheim, Colorado, Chicago, St. Louis, San Jose, Nashville, and Detroit. So Colorado turned things around. They had the worst record in the league last season, and now they are atop of their division. The worst team in the league are the Phoenix Coyotes. They are 6-20-1. They have a weakness at every single position, and the outlook is to win now. That's gonna be tough in the desert, I feel like. Alright, so let's take a look at our stats. Now, we might not have too many players that are a point per game anymore. Alright, so Jason Spezza is 31 and 24, Joe Thornton is 25 and 24, Pavel Datsyuk is 24 and 20, and then it really drops to 13 and 24 for Ryan Callahan, 12 for Brooks Lack, and our best player is Mark Streit with 10 and 18. So we're winning games and everything, but it's not by scoring that many goals. That's not how we're winning. Now in the league, the best goal scorer is Jaromir Jagr, 21 goals. How old is he? 37. And then Sidney Crosby is second with 20. So yeah, Pittsburgh is scoring a lot of goals. We're not. We don't have anybody in the top 12. The best passer are both Crosby and Jagr with 31 assists each. Our best is Jason Spezza with 23. That's good for 4th in the league. Best scorer is Jaromir Jagr with 52 points. Our best is Spezza. He's 9th with 31, so he's 21 points behind the pace there. So yeah, looks like Pittsburgh's gonna run away with the scoring race here. Unless there are injuries or that other players on other teams really start producing more than they have so far. Alright, so that's pretty much it for today. So I had to unwrap a lot of things at the start of the video that didn't necessarily have a lot to do with the Let's Play per se. I'm gonna go ahead and save my game. As usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for the feedback as well. As you saw, when it's doable for me, I will try to make things better, try to adjust. That's part of my quote-unquote job. I don't really consider this a job, but you know, there is effort put into it for sure. But anyway, so if you've liked the video as usual, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.